The sting of hot liquid seared my scalp before I even realized what had happened. 1 second, I was sitting at the breakfast table, clutching my wallet shut with trembling fingers, and the next, my husband's coffee mug tilted, spilling its scalding contents all over my hair and face. The burn was sharp, but what cut deeper was the sight of my son's wide, terrified eyes, and his mother's cold smirk from across the table. That was the moment everything changed. For years, I had bent, stretched, and twisted myself into knots just to hold my marriage together. When I married Daniel, I believed I was stepping into a love story. He was charming, ambitious, the kind of man who could fill a room with laughter. I ignored the warning signs, his sharp tongue when he didn't get his way, the way his mother seemed to have more power over our household than I did, and the subtle control he exerted over every part of my life. But the real chain he used to bind me was money. Daniel earned well, but he never truly shared. Every bill, every grocery trip, every expense for our son's school clothes, it came out of my pocket. He would tell me, a good wife invests in her family, while he funneled his own earnings into his mother's comforts and personal luxuries. If I questioned it, I was ungrateful. If I resisted, I was selfish. That morning, I had drawn a line. His mother wanted a new designer purse, one that cost nearly half a month of my salary. She sat at my kitchen table sipping tea, as if it were already hers, while Daniel barked at me to hand over the money. I refused. No, I said, my voice shaking but firm. I won't pay for it. The silence was thick. His mother narrowed her eyes. Daniel's jaw tightened. And then, the coffee. The pain brought tears instantly, but worse was the humiliation. My son, only 8 years old, jumped from his chair and screamed, "Daddy, stop." His small hands shook as he tried to reach for me, but Daniel shoved him back and barked at him to sit down. In that instant, something inside me hardened. The hours after felt like a blur. I locked myself in the bathroom, washing the sticky coffee from my hair as my scalp throbbed. My son stood outside the door, whispering, "Mom, are you okay?" His tiny voice broke me. I realized then that this wasn't just about me anymore. He was watching, learning, absorbing what love and family were supposed to look like. If I stayed, I would be teaching him that cruelty was normal, that silence was survival. I couldn't let that happen. That night, while Daniel snored in drunken sleep beside me, I packed a single suitcase for my son and me. My heart raced as I crept through the hallway, but fear was nothing compared to the determination I felt. I wasn't running away, I was breaking free. We moved in with my sister, who welcomed us without hesitation. At first, it was hard. Money was tight, my pride was bruised, and I cried myself to sleep more nights than I cared to admit. Daniel's mother called me relentlessly, spitting venom through the phone. Daniel himself sent messages oscillating between apologies and threats. "You'll never survive without me," he wrote once. And for a while, I believed him. But slowly, day by day, I rebuilt. I found a better job with people who respected me. My son started therapy, and little by little, the fear in his eyes faded into a light I hadn't seen in years. We laughed again, real laughter, the kind that doesn't feel like it has to be hidden. When Daniel tried to drag me back through the courts, I stood tall. I told the truth about the coffee, about the years of financial manipulation, about the way he belittled and controlled me. For once, I wasn't silenced. The judge granted me full custody, and I walked out of that courtroom with my head held high, my son's hand in mine. It wasn't easy. Healing never is. But one thing I know now, leaving was the bravest decision I ever made. I tell this story not because I want pity, but because I want someone, maybe you, listening right now, to know that you are stronger than you think. Love is not meant to hurt. Respect is not negotiable. And no amount of fear is worth staying in a cage someone else built for you. That day Daniel poured hot coffee on my head, he thought he was punishing me. But in reality, he set me free. Because from the ashes of that pain, I rose. And today, I am not just surviving. I am living, fully, fiercely, and without apology. And if you're trapped in a similar story, I want you to hear me. You, too, can rise.